Hey y'all, what's up? It's Raven Elizabeth.
It's Touch Money Mel.
And you're watching Giving Up the Game.
Follow me at Touch Money Mel and Touch Money_clothing on IG.
Follow me on IG also. I just wrote a book, Ian Shirts is made by me.
Shit, I just made my whole outfit. You already know how I do from the bag to the fit. I made my whole joint.
Listen, let's just get into the topic for today.
Relationships, situationships, and the unknown. Unknowns could be just going with the flow and not really having a title, not really establishing what y'all are, just being around each other and doing whatever.
To me, I feel like those are the people that just like don't want to be seen. Like, you know, like they're like, don't post me on this, don't post me on that, like stuff like that. Like that's what I feel like unknowns are. Like they just don't want to be known at all, and it's like, for what?
What do you think? Yeah, exactly. Why do you guys think people would want to be unknown?
Because they have their own hidden agendas going on.
Yeah, they definitely messing with somebody else.
They're not really being honest, you know what I'm saying? So they feel the need to be unknown or hidden or...
Yeah, because I feel like, what's the secret? Like, you know, like, why don't you want to be seen? Why don't you want me to post you? Why don't you want me to be seen in public with you? Like, what's the secret? What you hiding? You have to be hiding something. Like, there's no way you're not.
Basically, when people want to be unknown, it's because usually they want to be private. They live a private life, or they just don't want to be out there like that.
No, they're hiding. They're hiding. They have to be hiding. It's not, there's one thing about being private, and then there's another thing, like, as far as, like, why can't people know that you're my man? Like, we could have a private relationship, but, like, why can't it be known that you're my man?
What's an example of keeping something private and keeping something hidden?
I feel like keeping something hidden is when people be like, don't put my picture up, or like say you take a picture of somebody and then they be like, take that down, why did you post that? In private, I feel like, okay, yeah, you know, we're in a relationship because we just took a public picture. Say like we went to like a wedding or something together and we took a picture together and we posted it. Like, yeah, I'm not posting everything about my relationship, however, like, you know that that's my man. Like, it's not an issue that I put that picture up, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I feel like when people be like, no, don't post me, it's because they're hiding.
It could be that, but also it's more about someone's background, what they're used to doing, what their body is like, what's in their soul, like what they usually do in their past and stuff like that. Like when they're honest with you and they can tell you like, oh, I used to do that in my past, or I used to do this, then you can see like, oh, that probably is in their track record. But if it's not, then you know, you keep it what it is. If someone said they want to be private and they don't want to really be out there like that, I feel like that's someone's right, and you should respect it. And if it's not really in them or in their track record to do such things, then you should take it as such. Really.
What's the secret?
So, in your opinion, every time they want to keep it unknown or hidden, it's because there's a secret, there's something else that is not being said?
It has to be. Like, if you, let's just hypothetically say you got a girl. She's the baddest girl. Like, you know your girl look good. She has a nice body. She got a good job. She work, head on her shoulders, everything. Whatever the case may be. And she mess with you. And you like, nah, don't show nobody that we mess together. Why? Why not? Like, I'm not a bad look. You're not a bad look. Like, what's the problem? Like, if we mess with each other, we're in love, like, you know, we're planning a future together, like, eventually people are gonna want to know, like, you know, who's your companion, like, you know what I mean? Like, if we have a wedding, if you propose to me, whatever, in private because you want to be private, like, and then we have to publicly invite people to our wedding because obviously you want to have a big wedding, like, it's like, where did he just come from? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I never seen him before. Like, wow. And he'd be like, yeah, I've been with him for like 5 years. Like, 5 years where? Like,
what if the secret wasn't cheating? Like, what if it wasn't cheating? Like, what if he was running from the feds?
No. I say this all the time. Anything you wouldn't do in front of your significant other is cheating, period. And I stand on that.
So, like, if you was running from the feds, that's cheating?
You need to.
And that's why you have to keep
I'm running from the feds and I don't let my lady know.
That's different. That's different because I could post old pictures. Like, I feel like I could post old pictures, or that's different. Cause like if you running from the feds, 9 times out of 10, everybody know you running from the feds. Like,
no, but that's after the fact. There's things that occur before the feds come. You know what I'm saying? You just hot, period. Like, there's just stuff going on, whereas you being negligent to what's going on and not thinking about criminal aspects of it.
But if you moving like that, 9 times out of 10, people don't know who your girl is.
It depends. Everybody move different. You can't speak for everybody. I know I move different than a lot of niggas, so it's like, I understand how I move and how other people move. Like, they move how, like, I could be doing something right now and my shorty gonna notice because she pay attention to me, because she understand that, wait, what you doing over there? Why you doing that? Like, she understand, like, she pays attention to me. So there's certain things, like, if I wouldn't tell her, that's me keeping the secret. That's me lying. That's
yeah, but I feel like if you're hot, I'm holding it down. Like they're gonna know what time it is. Like, he got a real girl in his corner. Like, he not, you know, like, fucking with no average. Because, like, let's say, God forbid, feds pick you up, da-da-da. Who gonna be in the forefront anyway? Your girl.
Yeah, but God be trying to act like they're there like that, or they're there when things
guys are just too hard for me. Like, their pride is like skyrocket. It's like, whoa.
Some dudes are soft and some dudes are solid. Like, a lot of my homies are solid. So it's like, they understand things without me having to speak about it. And the same with me. Like, certain things we don't have to speak about because we have to be solid as men. You understand me?
So wait, let me ask you. So what's the difference between an unknown and a situationship?
Situationships are more so people dealing with each other, and they may not be together, or they claim to be off and on or whatever, but everyone sees them together. Everyone knows that they've been dealing with each other for quite some time, so it's like, it's a situationship because they're claiming that they're not together, but you see them together, they're doing things together. You don't see them with anyone else, so
I feel like they're scared of public commitment, because why are you guys doing everything as a couple? People know that you guys mess around, but there's no title established, so it makes it a situation. Like, and it's just like, if you mess with me that hard and we've been doing this for years, like, I'm not talking to nobody, you're not talking to nobody, like, why are you scared to go public about it? Like, why are we just in the back front? Like, I get it, like, yeah, we're chilling, like, I'm comfortable, people don't have to know my business, granted, but like, why can't, if people don't have to know our business, people could still not have to know our business, and I could still be your girlfriend and not just somebody that you're sleeping with. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I could still have that title, because when it comes to Thanksgiving, holidays, things like that, where family gets involved, and it's like, sometimes I feel like families start asking, like, oh, you don't have a boyfriend by now? Or like, where's your boyfriend? And it's like, yeah, I have somebody that I've been talking to like for 4 years. And it's like, what? Like, that don't even sound right. How you talking to somebody for 4 years? Like, and it's realistically, it's like, we're not talking, we're really in a relationship, but there's no title established, so it's just a situation. And it's just like, that's not, come on.
Well, I had a situation when I was younger where I was on the phone with a girl, and my mother kept hearing her on the phone with a boy, so she kept asking, she's like, who is that? She's like, oh, this is my boyfriend, and I'm on the other line like, what? But it's like, it's not like I can tell her through the phone, like, don't say that to your moms, but it's like, people put things on that maybe the other person don't want.
But why, then, in that case, why are you guys doing things like as if you are a boyfriend and girlfriend? Like, I feel like that's wasting the other person's time, because it's like, you want to mess with that person on that type of level, but you don't want to give that person that title and that level of respect, because you feel like, oh, I mess with you, but I don't mess with you enough to say you my girl. Like, so why are you messing with me? Like,
but the thing is, like, people like to tie people down or be tied to someone, so that's why a lot of times it be situations, because maybe one of the people don't want to really mess with that person, and they
say it's a long period of time. Hypothetically thinking, it's a long period of time going on, and it's just like, you know the way I move. I'm still not your girl. Like, that's crazy.
Well, some people are not down for that. Like me, I'm not down for that. So,
would you say that a situationship is the result of like immaturity
Yes, definitely.
On someone's
definitely.
Yeah.
Not both?
It could be both, but
no,
it's usually more so on
it's
one
on one person's end. Because I feel like one person could be asking for it, and the other person could be the one that's denying it. Whether it's
wouldn't a mature person leave?
I mean, yeah, but some people want what they want. A lot of people, if you notice, a lot of people do things that don't really make sense, but they follow in their heart and shit like that.
I feel like when you talk to someone and you've been dealing with them for so long, you like them, you like the way they move, you like what they got going for themselves, things like that, but you understand that they don't want a relationship because they told you that in the beginning, you like okay at first because you think down the line things are going to change, and then you realize 2 years went by, 3 years went by, 5 years went by, and then you start saying to yourself like, okay, like when does it change? And it's like, I feel like it's hard to decipher as a female, like, do you stay because you put in so much time and you don't want to start over, or do you walk away because you feel like you're wasting your time and now you have to start over and put in the same amount of time with someone else, and what's the chances that that person is going to be greater than the person you just walked away from? Like, I feel like that's difficult for a female.
So then let me ask you, Raven, since we're on the topic, do you feel like women are basically being pushed into like being caretakers in a way of their significant others, in the sense of like you got to build a man basically like it's a workshop?
I don't feel like you have to build a man. I think because the female naturally falls in love with who the man is in general, so I don't feel like you're building him up. I just feel like you're being there for him because you love who he is. You know, he doesn't have someone in his corner that's asking him, is he good every day? Like, his boys is not asking him that. Like, you know what I mean? I also feel like as the female in this position, like, you feel like you have to hold it down because you're his female. You're the person he wants to go to sleep with that night. You're the person he wants to call to express himself, even if he doesn't show emotion. It's like, it's different from guys can't have certain conversations with their men. It's like, it just doesn't go down like that. So do I feel like females are being forced into being caretakers? To an extent, but I feel like it's more so females naturally know what they have to do. They know their position in a man's life, whether it's in a real relationship, you know, whatever the case may be. I just feel like females know what they should do. Like, they have to be there because, I mean, I know I feel like that. Like, I can't naturally speak for all females, but at the same time, I just feel like, you know, like, if your man's trapping, you gonna hold it down. If your man go to work from 10 to 10, and you know when he get up for work, he gonna be hungry, tired, and you know, like, he needs to do other things. Like, you wanna make sure it happen as his female. Like, you're gonna cater to his needs because you love that he's a hard worker. No matter what it is, you love that the man. You love that man.
Okay, so then while we're still on the topic, let me ask you, Mello. What about the reverse? Okay, let's say you know your shorty's about to go to work 10 to 10. And when she go home, she gonna be hungry. She gonna want to do all these other type of situations. She got other things she needs to take care of. What are the obligations at this point on the part of the male or the other?
With whether my shorty is at work or not, I always ask her, is she hungry? Is she hungry? Has she ate?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want? Especially if she's about to see me. I ask her what she wants, like what she craving, stuff like that, because I pay attention to stuff like that. I ask her every day. That's an everyday thing. Like, what did you eat? What are you about to eat? Why didn't she? Let's say an instance where, you know, when you're rushing out the house and you got to get to somewhere, she has to get to work, she has to get here, there, wherever. She might miss breakfast and just eat lunch, and I'll be mad because I'm like, why didn't you eat? Like, I make sure she.
But do you feel like typical men act like that?
No.
See, there's a difference.
Okay, like, so what make you atypical?
I feel like a lot of women that feel like caretakers because they're dealing with little boys, like literally. Like,
agree.
They depend on them. They're driving their car. They're doing things like that where they're dealing with little boys and they're doing little boy things. Whereas a man that takes care of himself, that's why a lot of girls have reassurance issues, because the man is, you know, established, or they're doing something to establish themselves, whereas like they feel like, oh, they're expendable, whereas the men do things to make you feel like special and things like that. But because we got our own thing going on, we're not asking for handouts and stuff like that. They feel like, oh, he may not need me, but you never. A lot of things like you may not need people for finances or things like that. You may need them for peace of mind. So a lot of things is different. So you just gotta keep things accordingly.
But why, if that's the case, why can't she be your girl? Like, why does it just have to be a situation? Like, if you feel like you don't need her for finance, you feel like you don't need her to drive your car, like you have everything settled already, but she's your comfort zone, like, why is that not your girl? Why is that just somebody that you're dealing with? It's the same exact thing. Like, it should just be your girl. Like, what's holding you back from giving a female that title? Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't really feel like it's females like, oh, let me just talk to this guy, da da da. Because, like, we are very emotional. And I feel like when we start talking to a guy, like, at that point, it's like, this gonna be my man. Like, I don't know, nobody thought, like, this is my man. Like, anybody that's coming around thinking that that's their man, it's not. Like, you know, I care about him. So, we already established that whether you like it or not, you're our man. So, it's just like, why we can't get the same respect back? Like, that's my girl. But, and I'm not saying, like, because, like, guys could be talking to their guys and they'd be like, yeah, that's my shorty, that's my girl, that's my this, that's my that. But realistically, the person you have to be honest to is the person that you're dealing with. And I feel like if you guys don't have that conversation, like, you're my girl, you're my man, then there's no establishment. Like, it's a situationship, because
that's exactly what it is.
That's not talked about. Like, I feel like you have to talk about that. Like, it's not, oh, we just dealing with each other for 3 years, of course you know you're my girl. Like, no, I don't, because you never physically said that.
So basically, a situationship is when the two people involved are not communicating what they are to each other, even though they're taking part in a relationship.
Yeah, because let's say, for instance, somebody cheats, and they'll be like, oh, well, you're not my man. And it's like, what you mean I'm not your man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what you doing? Like, how you messing with somebody else? Like, you know, they start looking at it funny, and it's just like, well, maybe if you established that we were something, then I wouldn't have took that step. And it's just like, a lot of times I think with females, because they like somebody so bad, and like, not to say it like that, but it do be so bad, like, they really be feeling the person, they're comfortable with him saying, I don't want a relationship right now, because we think down the line he's gonna want a relationship, and we think if we hold it down, like, his relationship is gonna want to be with me. But meanwhile, two years in, he sleep with 4 or 5 girls, and you just like, yo, you bugging. And he's like, oh no, we not in a relationship. What you mean I'm bugging? Like, I'm allowed to do what I want to. And it's like, whoa, because I didn't do nothing with nobody for the past 2 years, so why are you doing that?
That's what I feel like situationship is. When you're holding someone down, that's not holding you down. How you holding them down? That's the best definition for it. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Someone that's you doing for someone that's just not, you know, reciprocating that energy, and it's like you feel that shit.
All right. So, in your opinion, what is a healthy relationship? How does that go? How does a healthy relationship operate?
I feel like healthy relationships is both the people involved putting their best effort together, you know, to pretty much accomplish the same goals, to get their own house, get their own in general, to be and do together. So when people are together, maybe that's not the idea at first, but ultimately, like, when you're with someone, like, that should be the goal. Like, someone that you see them living your life with, have a kid with, and, you know, growing old with.
I feel like a healthy relationship is good communication, great trust. I feel like people need space, like, in a relationship, because when you're with someone all the time. Like, if you're in, like, a length relationship, so, like, you know, there's times where you have to, like, let your man be with his boys, or you have to let your girl go out with her girls, just to be reminded of the fun, you know, like, and it's not just me and you all the time. Like, I feel like you need to be around your friends, you know, just to get that who you are, like, you know, when you're with your friends, because everybody's different when they're with their friends. Like, you know, I don't care what anyone says when they be like, oh, I'm the same with everybody. Like, I feel like when you're with your friends, you act a little different than when you're in a relationship. So I feel like space is definitely important. Communication, trust, and I just feel like you guys genuinely have to be into each other. Like, you know, like, want to see each other succeed, support each other's goals, visions, motivate one another, and remind each other why you appreciate that person. Like, I feel like that's big. Like, you know, like a constant reminder of knowing why your spouse loves you or wants to see the best in you. Like, sometimes that's all you need to hear. Like, you know, your mom can tell you this, your dad can tell you that, you know, your friends can tell you this, but like, if the person that you're dealing with, that you lay with every night, that you love and stuff like that, tell you that, like, it's just like, whoa, he sees it, like, you know what I mean, or she sees it. So I feel like that those are the key things of like a healthy relationship.
So then, how does a healthy relationship deal with something like, with an argument, like a major, like serious argument, like not even an argument, like a difference in opinion on how to proceed, in the sense of like, let's say, okay, do we want to have kids? How does a healthy couple, since we're speaking about specifically romantic relationships, how does a healthy couple deal with, like, you know, something like that, such a splitting decision like that?
I feel like they just speak their mind on the subject. If whoever wants kids, they'll speak on that, and whoever doesn't want kids, they'll speak on that.
So what compromise would be reached in a case like that? How can one reach that compromise? Like, because that's something pretty much, if you feel like you don't want kids, like, that's it. Like, yo, you feel like, yo, I don't want kids.
I feel like like as time go on, like, you know what I mean? If you know that your spouse wants this, and even though you want, like, and let's say vice versa, your spouse gives you something that you want, and they don't technically agree with it, I feel like that's the compromise right there. Like, you know, they're willing to make a sacrifice, or they're willing to make a change to give you something that you want. So in return,
something like, that drastic though, like, let's say you don't want kids, and then like now you have to deal with the responsibility of having kids for literally 18 years, but really until you die, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's a big ask. Like, let's say it's that person just all their life they felt that way, now they're in a relationship like, yo, I don't want to have kids or whatever, and then then the other partner feels like, I do want to have kids, I do want to raise a family. Not even like, you know what I'm saying? So like, what if they didn't even want to adopt? They just felt like never want to deal with kids.
Well, that's something you find out from Jump Street.
Yeah.
From Jump Street. So
yeah, I feel like that's a beginning thing. I feel like if the person don't want to have kids, they're gonna say, oh, bad, they're gonna want to have kids, and you have to be acceptable of that. Like, if not, I feel like you know what you got yourself into. If 5 years down the line you say, okay, I'm ready to have a baby, and they be like, nah, I don't want to have no kids, it's like, you knew that from the beginning, because that was always stated. That was never unclear. Like, you know, it's different when things are unclear, and it's different when things are very, like, cutthroat, like, no
so
kids.
In a healthy relationship, that would have all been decided, and everybody would have went their separate ways
from the beginning.
From the beginning?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have never even got to that point?
Well, if you're smart. If you're smart.
So then, is it possible that a healthy relationship with that like a discussion like that might never have come up to get to that? Like, let's say you've been dating for like 5 years or
I
something.
feel like everybody talk about kids in the beginning.
Especially now, because everybody having kids.
Yeah.
So it's hard not to
So
speak
true.
about that.
So
it's
true.
hard not to speak about that, because everybody's having kids.
Because the initial question is, you got a kid? Like,
yeah.
That's the initial question now. Like,
I've had people accuse me of having kids, and I'm like, I don't have any kids, but what's wrong with you?
and I think, yeah, that's big. That really is big in like a healthy relationship, because like, even think about people that come with kids already. Like,
So that's a trait of a healthy relationship, to be discussing, to be transparent, discussing all these like future plans.
Yeah, but that comes with good communication, because like, if certain things are said, they're said, and it's like, say if the spouse wants to change their mind, that's a conversation that they would have. Like, it's not just, oh, you know, you're pregnant and it is what it is. Like, I feel like it's something that's talked about. Like, if you always have good quality communication, listen, from jump, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And you have a clear understanding of that. Like, you know, like, I feel like that's key. Like, talk about it.
Alright. That makes sense. So to summarize, to have a healthy relationship, you need to have trust, communication, transparency. Situationships occur when one or both of the members involved are immature or refusing to give like a title.
Yeah.
And then the unknown is when somebody has something to hide and wants to keep things hidden.
Yeah, when they have a hidden agenda. Something going on that they're not trying to put on front.
Wow, you agree with me?
It's kind of, sort of.
I thought that feds topic was going to take me out.
Yeah, nah.
Okay, so I guess we have a clear understanding of what we think relationships, situationships, and the unknown are.
Exactly. Thank you for tuning in, for giving up the game.
Guys, listen, make sure you like us, leave comments, subscribe, because we have so much more in store. Like, you guys are going to love what we have. We're going to be talking about great topics. We're going to have special guests, and I want to make sure you guys don't miss anything, because you see this gets very interesting here. So make sure you like us, subscribe, do what you need to do, but tune in every Sunday. We'll be here.
You already know.